Welcome back, everybody. Well, it is Film Friday here on Mornings on Fox 11, and that means our resident film critic, Scott Birmingham, joins us to tell us everything about what is hot at the movies. We're taking a look at a Mark Wahlberg film that a lot of people wanted to see, or a lot of people are talking about, that's for sure.
Yeah, quickly let's review the box office numbers for this week. Coming in at a tie at number 3 is Unbroken, pulling in a modest $18.2 million. And by only a couple of bucks at number 2 is Disney's musical that you will either love or hate, is Into the Woods, dancing at $18.7 million. And the number 1 movie for its third straight week is The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, holding strong at $21 million. The last 2 great addiction films I have seen, one was back in 1988 with a film that starred Michael Keaton called Clean and Sober, and recently in 2011 with a small film called Shame with Michael Fassbender. I am now going to add The Gambler to that list. Addiction comes in many forms to men and women, and gambling is a notorious one. In The Gambler, Mark Wahlberg plays Jim Bennett, a lit professor during the day and a gambler at night. He borrows money from anyone who will give it to him, from strangers to his mother and even a loan shark. His intentions are to gamble, not to repay his debts, and because he's a high-stakes player, he refuses to acknowledge when he should walk away from the table. He makes no apologies for his actions. Ironically, he's a very smart guy and cocky about it. He knows his shortcomings and pushes them aside and simply moves on to more gambling. Kudos to William Monahan's well-crafted screenplay and to newcomer actress Brie Larson, who as a college student says a lot in the very little dialogue she has by using her face with subtle gestures. I give this film 4 out of 4 stars.
4 out of 4. Now, we were talking to Samantha Scott. She said she saw it, and everybody wants to root for Mark Wahlberg, but you get so mad at him because he keeps making these asinine decisions.
You know, and it's interesting when people are portraying addicts of one sort or another. Sometimes you have apathy for them. You want them to get better. And then there are those people that seem like no matter what you do, they're always going to go back to being that person. There's no way of chiseling away for or trying to help them out. They are what they are, and that's all they're ever going to be.
Yeah. Talk about the performances in this one, not only Wahlberg, also John Goodman in this.
John Goodman's really great. You know, he's really breaking away from that old model of Roseanne. He even shaves his head in this film, has a goatee. And there's a shot in there that I thought was interesting. For being a big guy, they show his whole back with just a towel around him.
Just his back, I hope.
We're not talking about the greatest physique, but it's interesting that this guy is a large guy who doesn't play around when it comes to money. And he's seen this type of guy, this gambler, before all the time. So it's interesting to hear their dialogue going back and forth about him.
All righty. Let's talk about what else is going on if you want to watch some films at home.
On the DVD, DirecTV, and Netflix front, we have the James Brown docudrama Get It On Up, which was the only film on the list that opened nationwide. A few others that played only in limited release were Horns with Daniel Radcliffe and Ways to Live Forever with Ben Chaplin. Don't feel bad if you've never heard of them. Even some of us film critics haven't.
All right, and what can we look forward to next week?
Next week, I'll be in Los Angeles attending the Critics' Choice Movie Awards that will air live on another cable network on Thursday night. I'll be back following the week talking more movies.
All righty, we appreciate it, Scotty. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, Bill.